Right, then it's game number 10 in the IPL, Bangalore versus Kolkata. It's a battle of two international captains in Virat Kohli and Eoin Morgan. Plenty of big stars to choose from. You have the likes of Andre Russell as well as AB de Villiers. We'll narrow it down for you. And joining me on the program would be Ian Bishop and our in-house fantasy expert in Arjun Nambutri. You're watching Coin DCX presents ESPN Cricinfo Fantasy Picks. Right, we kickstart with our ESPN Cricinfo Safe Bet 11, and we've gone in with Virat Kohli, who's not only our opening batsman, but also the captain of the side. And remember, his last three scores against KKR in India have been 100, 84 and 68. AB de Villiers is also our wicketkeeper. Nitish Rana is at number 3, another batsman that we've got from Kolkata. The middle order then is Shubman Gill, Andre Russell. Now remember, he's picked up 6 wickets in 2 games, striking once every 5 deliveries. Glenn Maxwell also makes our lists of all-rounders in the team, and we've got plenty of those. SHAHBAZ AHMED as well, another all-rounder. And then we get to our bowlers in Pat Cummins, Harshal Patel, Mohammad Siraj and Varun Chakravarthty. Remember, Varun has picked up 9 wickets at an average of 10.66 against Southpaws in the IPL. Okay, Ian, I'm going to bring you on this one. Whatever we've seen of Chennai so far, it's been a spinning track. So even if you're going for a safe bet 11, would you want to consider someone like Shakib Al Hasan? He could give you wickets, and now we've even seen him bat higher up the order. So double ways of getting wickets from him.
I would consider Shakib, and I'd consider him for this reason. I think depending on whether you bowl first or second at Chennai, it makes an orthodox spinner have so much more potency. And Shakib would give me that option, as well as at his best batting, he lengthens and gives depth to my batting. So he's one of my favorites, really, because he's that type of player that gives you everything.
Okay, so you could consider having Shakib in your safe bet 11. Let me now bring in Arjun. He'll give you some very high-risk options. And
we love risk.
We do. And it's very rewarding if you go in with a high-risk option. The one change that I see, Arjun, at the moment is that you've got Maxwell out. Now, many are going to wonder, I understand this is high risk. He's the man in form. Are you looking at law of averages? Are you expecting him to fail now? That's why he's out?
Yes, exactly. So as consistency in T20s, especially in fantasy, you always pick a player. Either if you're not one of the really good players, Virat or a Warner or probably a Dhawan, you don't go for consistency. So I've got him out exactly for that reason. And I'm expecting Padikkal to perform. And Chennai is a slow pitch, and he gets into the game slowly. Rahul Tripathi comes in for that same reason, and he's replacing Rana as well, who is also the informed player. Siraj bowled really well the last time these two faced, and he got him out for the first ball. Shakib is a much better fantasy potential than a Pat Cummins, for example. Chennai spin bats as well, gets runs as well. So he comes in directly into my team. Captain and vice captain, I have gone for Russell as my captain and, Harshal Patel as my vice captain. Russell, fifer at Mumbai in the last game, has huge potential for runs. Harshal Patel, interesting start to the IPL. Chennai, he is RCB's designated death bowler. So economy rate comes into the picture as well. That gives you points as well. So he is my vice captain for this game. So yeah, these are my picks.
Ian, what do you make of Arjun's hypothesis that T20 cricket is not about consistency?
I don't necessarily buy into that because I think it's more volatile than maybe the other formats of the game, but you still want to be able to have a season like Virat Kohli had. I think it was in 2016, for example, or a consistent run as David Warner, for example, has had in the IPL. A lot of people will go for the explosive. Russell might win you a match here and he might win you a match there. But I still think there's room for consistency of good performances, because you can be consistently bad. We don't want consistently bad. We want consistently good. So I sort of edge away from that volatility a little bit.
I'm really surprised to see that there's no Yuzvendra Chahal either in the high-risk 11 or your safe bet 11. Now, here's a bowler who's been outstanding in T20 cricket. Bish, I'll get your thoughts on that. I understand he's not in form, but he was one of those safe bet bowlers in seasons before this that was a must-have in most T20 games.
Yeah, and unfortunately, this season he hasn't picked up a wicket. It's like Kuldeep Yadav as well, who in times past had really good success relative, but recently in the last couple of years, he hasn't had the same, whether people have found him out or not. So I tend to go with form. You see how conservative I am? I like consistency even in the volatility of T20 cricket. So I also like good form. And so I wouldn't necessarily go for a guy because he's had a great history in the past. I want to see, what have you done for me lately?
Well, that's right. If you followed Ian Bishop's career, you'd agree he went with consistency, consistently bowled over 140, consistently made life really, really tough for batsmen. So he's continuing with that mantra even now as an analyst. Ian Bishop and Arjun Nambutri, thanks so much for joining us. You are watching Coin DCX presents ESPN Cricinfo Fantasy Picks.